my children and their father. We're letting them run their energy out, getting that time for bedtime here soon. So, we're letting them do that number right there. And so on this episode, I want to talk to you guys about my journey with lupus. And I want to take it back, in case anyone missed it, that I was diagnosed with lupus in 2014. So I was 15 then and was going into my 10th grade year. I want to take it back before then, though, because this will make the lessons make sense, okay? So it was about 2011, 2012 when me and one of my best friends back in the day, like Ace Boone Coon, he asked me actually if I wanted to start going to church with him. He was going through some things in his life, and I was going through some things as well. So, I was on board with it. Like, I always had a strained relationship with God. I was angry with God for the longest time, like after my dad passed away. And he passed away in September 14, 2003. It was a great experience, like really, really great experience, I can honestly say. And so we went on a spring retreat in 2012, and I got saved. It was a big crowd of us, worshiping God, repenting, and getting saved, and I could feel it throughout my soul, like it was real. Like I could feel it all around me, So my sister started working. One of my older sisters started working at a church nursery with my aunt step aunt, and so me and my other sisters, it's 4 of us on my mom's side. So my oldest sister out of the 4 was working in the nursery, and then us 3, we decided to start going to church over there because we also had cousins over there that would one that worked in the nursery as well, and then cousin that would go to the church. So we all decided to just go together. And so my little sister, she was actually she's 6 years younger than me, and so she wasn't in the same group as us, And so going to this church, it was cool and all. We had got to go to we was in a student leadership groups, but this group had their own building, separate from the church. So we would go over there to the other building, talk about God, the Bible, whatever have you. And so my cousin, she was a rebel. She was a rebel. And so I was a shy one, even though I was the older one. I was a shy one, and wasn't I was outgoing, but in the same sense, I think in that period of my life, I just became so depressed that I just became more introverted, not really want to talk to people unless I felt real comfortable around you, feel me? Or I really liked you. But if I just meet you through somebody else, I'm peeping you out, I'm peeping everybody out anyway, but I'm just more observant and more cautious. So, there's this dude that was our leader in the ministry, the student leader ministry, and I took a liking to him because he was the only black person. He had blue or green eyes, can't really remember, but it was pretty, and he played a guitar, which I took a liking to guitars and instruments at a young age, and I always wanted to learn how to play the guitar. So I liked him, and I kept it to myself for a long time, and then told my cousin, and was encouraged to talk to him, so I did. And end up getting in trouble one day trying to go see him, and because I had already asked my mom this one particular day, and she had said no, I can't go hang with him, which I didn't tell her his age, but she had told me no, which she always was telling me no about hanging out with people. So I could never really go hang out with nobody, but I always would try, feel me? And I ended up sneaking out anyways, through, not to put blame on anyone, but a lot of things I did was because of encouragement, thinking I could get away with it too, type of shit. But clearly, I got a bigger calling than to be getting away with criminal activity, delinquent shit. You feel me? Because I would always get in trouble for some shit that, you know, somebody else would get away with. And so it was just like frustrating to me. But anywho, glad that it did happen though, because, you know, it really shows now, like, I can look back and realize, like, okay, that's why, you know, this wouldn't go that way, because I'm actually bigger for it. I see through examples of my life or whatever. But anywho, so I was encouraged to sneak out and end up coming back home, and was threatened to be sent off. Like, police was there and everything. And so that was like strike number one for, after being saved and supposed to have been committing my life to, you know, fulfilling my purpose for God. And, you know, that was my strike one for, you know, disobeying God. You feel me? So all right, let's fast forward to, well, I'm gonna say this because I don't really recall what happened in that time, like what I was doing that was disobeying God. Because I mean, I did have a smart mouth. I did. I'm not gonna lie to nobody. I had a smart mouth growing up. Still kind of do, but I'm more controlled. But because I just, like, I've always, like I said previously, like, I've always had this intuitive nature about me, and I didn't like how people didn't listen to me and would suppress or oppress me into not speaking up and, you know, telling things for what it really was. You feel me? Like, because that's the type of person I was as a kid. Like, I could sense the bullshit, you know. I can sense when something's gonna happen, and people be like down on me, you know, doubting me and stuff like that. So I just got to a point where I just stopped doing this. Okay, I'm still healing. It's okay, I'm still elevating, so bear with me. But anywho, so that was the first strike. So I know, like, earlier that year, 2014, in like December, it was around Christmas break. I was playing basketball, right? And so I got sick during the break. Like, we had practice and stuff like that during our Christmas break, and I ended up getting sick for a whole week. Like, I'm talking, I felt like I had COVID. And this is 2014, honey. This is 2014. And like, well, this is 2013 actually. This is 2013 December on Christmas break. And I'm feeling like I have COVID. Like, the way the symptoms of COVID are that we know of today, that's how I felt back in the day. Like, I could not get up. I was threatened to be sent off. Like, police was there and everything. And so that was like strike number one for, but anywho, so I was sick, and I know I had been acting up. I had been. I used to get upset with my mom about not coming to my games and being late for my games or practice and stuff like that. So, you know, maybe I might have said something wrong to her that I shouldn't have, not realizing what she was going through, you know. So I got really sick then in 2013. And then, so that situation with the guy and, you know, about to get sent off and everything, that happened 2013 when I almost got sent off. That was strike one. So fast forward to 2014 about the foot thing, or later in 2013, actually December 2013, with the foot thing, with being sick, feeling like it was COVID symptoms, rightly, that I know of today, what the symptoms of COVID are and how it felt back then. Like, it really matches. Being who I was sick, didn't know what was wrong with me, didn't have no taste, didn't have no energy, couldn't do nothing. And so come back to practice in January, or come back to school, and after New Year's, and then of course we have practice, we have games. It was tournament season, tournament time. And so I developed blisters in my feet and my fingers, and they would have, and I mean, there was nothing it seemed like anybody could do. I mean, honestly, I feel like didn't nobody care. I don't know, but like, I had to basically beg my coach, like, let him know, like, I got blisters on my feet and my fingers. Like, what am I supposed to do? He's like, just play. I'm like, damn. I mean, I know, like, I was a good basketball player. Like, I was a really good basketball player. Like, I was in the top 5, the starters, at some point towards the end of the season. Like, I had to start getting my fingers taped up and my feet taped up and wrapped up so I can play the game. Like, I would be running on the court on my tippy toes and on the side of my feet, because it started getting to the point where my feet, like my toes, walking on my tippy toes, like they were getting blisters, and I still have scars to this day to prove that, you know. And might actually just post pictures of that at the end of this video. But so I had the blisters on my feet. This is early 2014. Yes, early 2014. I was 15 then. Let's fast forward to May of 2014. This is the end of the school year of my 9th grade year. And me and my family, we tend to always go to my hometown, my folks' hometown down south, LA. And, you know, spend time with my folks. And it was actually, I believe, a cousin's graduation at this time. So we was partying hard, honey. Like, the whole block was out there, for real, for real. And that's how we did it. We all did it big when we go down there, you know, and put some on the grill, have all types of our, you know, friends and family there. And so me and my cousin, the one that's my age, but she's younger. She looks like she's older, though. But she comes this time, which normally she doesn't come down. Like, I don't know exactly why. I'm not even gonna act like I don't know why. But anywho, we're not gonna speak on it today. But that she was down there, and you know, she always been my ace boon coon ride or die since we were yay high, like 4 flats. Okay, we were always together, and you know, did things together and stuff like that. So she was around, and we was trying to catch up some boys, y'all. We was drinking alcohol. We was sneaking alcohol. We was taking Jello shots and shit. And so I just know, like, some point during the night, I know I was tore up. She was tore up, because we took a picture. Like, there's pictures to show that we was tore up. You could tell we was. And so that night, her stepmother had hit me on my right hip. I don't know exactly what the reason was. I don't know if she peeped that I was drunk. I don't know. But she hit me on my right hip. And it was hurting after then. And then I ended up stepping in a pothole right after, y'all. Mind you, my aunt, the step aunt, she worked in the church that we was going to at the time. With my sister working there, and my cousins, or one of my cousins working there, and then all of us cousins and sisters being there. She was a good woman. And so, like, with her, like, okay, this, like, just like an insight, like a pause moment, okay, right now. So with that being said, now I can see that as being like God working through her and trying to get me to like punishing me, you know, punishing me for physically for disobeying God, you feel me? And then I ended up stepping in the pothole right after, hurt my ankle. So the next morning, I wake up and I'm in pain. Like, oh my gosh, I can't even move for real. It hurts so bad to even move in the bed. I'm in a hotel bed now. Y'all know. Well, I'm gonna let y'all know something. We don't stay in no hotels that's raggedy now. Them beds best to be fluffy. We don't want nothing just firm, honey. We want it to be fluffy, feeling good. We sleeping in the cloud, okay? So, I'm in so much pain. Like, I couldn't even walk. And normally, like, we'll get up, even if like when me and my mom, my sisters, and our people, we're down there in our hometown. Like, when we go down there, we normally like get up in the morning time. We go. Same thing with my uncle when he gets down there righteously. Like, he'll get up in the morning time. He'll go back. We'll go back to our folks' house, right? But this particular day, oh my gosh, I could not get up. I was in so much pain. I went back to sleep. Okay. And then when I did wake up, it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I did not want to get up. It was just bad. So we leave from there that day, because that was a Sunday. We partied that Saturday, the day before, you know, because we normally would come there during the weekend, because everybody works, go to school, you know, on Friday. Don't got time, we tired. We're gonna rest before we go in the morning to the hometown and have fun, right? So we leave the next day. Everybody was sick for a whole week after then, honey. Mind you, this is the beginning of summer. Everybody was sick for a whole week, right? Including me and my people, and my cousin and my uncle and his wife and all that, everybody was sick. Then the next week, everybody was better, but I didn't get better. I actually started getting worse and started doing dance line. I actually made dance line team that year, the end of my 9th grade year, to go into the 10th grade year, and I gave up basketball. So when I had practice with dance line, we did have to wait like a week or two after school ended to actually start practice. So I took myself to dance line practice every morning, and one particular morning was out, which we would do practice outside, and I was stretching, getting ready to do the splits, and so my leg, it felt like I pulled a muscle in my thigh, and I was like, dang. So I just kept on trying to practice whatever, and then afterwards, throughout the day, when I got home, it just got worse. The pain got worse, and so the next day, like, I'm feeling a little bit better, but I'm still in pain, and I like try to do the work and stuff like that, like practice and stuff like that in the dance, and I get overheated, like, oh, I'm like seeing stars, dizzy, like lightheaded, my heart's racing and beating, and yeah, the whole nine. Like, I had to go sit out in the band room, because we was outside the band room practicing outside, and I had to go sit down the whole practice, and then after then I just went downhill. And so righteous, I feel like that was strike number 3, because when I tell y'all, I was on my deathbed. Like, it went until the end of June. Now we get out of school, well, even to this day, like back in the day, we used to get out of school like around the end of May, and then it's still kind of like that these days. So like, it was a whole month before I actually turned for the worst, and so it was like I had nosebleeds, I couldn't get up, I wasn't eating, I couldn't drink nothing, I couldn't taste, my body hurt like just a thin sheet on my skin. That hurt like it went down to the core of me, and I mean, I was just down bad. And my mom tried taking me to our family doctor, and they, like, there's this BITCH receptionist up there that act like she couldn't get us in. And mind you, I'm doubled over in pain. Like, I'm crying, y'all. I'm boo-hooing crying. Walking hurts. Breathing hurts, honey. And this lady, like, my mom's like, yeah, we know we're late, but you see her, like, she's in pain. Like, can you help her? Lady was acting like she didn't really care for my condition, even though she seen how I was. So we left. And my mom, she kept trying to get me to eat soups and drink stuff, but it just wasn't going. And so she finally took me to a place called W.T. Scruggs in Walnut Grove, Alabama. And this black lady, mind you, the other ladies and most of the people up here are predominantly white. So telltale sign why they didn't care or the lady didn't care. And this black lady, Kim, like, she think that I have leukemia. And so, and I mean, they get me in quick. No wait. It's like nobody was there for real. So she thought I had leukemia because my antibody and white blood cell count was off. So she ended up sending me to Children's of Alabama in Birmingham, because and this is her quote, because she thought that it was leukemia, but she wasn't really sure. And I really thank that lady to this day, because if it hadn't been for her urgency and her sense of like care and alertness, and just, she's intuitive. Like, how would you know what to test for? You had to, like, maybe going through something like this to see it. Probably about a week later, after W.T. Scruggs, I go to Children's of Alabama. My nose is bleeding, I'm shaking, weak, can barely walk. It hurts to touch. Don't even touch me, honey. I was in and out the hospital a lot, and by the time 10th grade, and that was just only June, well, the end of June, July, I was in and out the hospital so many times, it didn't make no sense. From Marshall Medical South, baby, they had this Richard Pryor looking ass doctor up in there, honey, and ain't know what the fuck he was doing. About motherfucking killed me one day, because I had a blood sugar of, like, I think they said 300 or 500, something like that. I was going basically into DKA. And we get over there, and he's like, I don't know. he's like back and forth, like asking questions, and we're just like, have you ever dealt with lupus? He's like, no. And it's like, okay, well, just send us on our way, okay? Like, body would be cramped up. Like that day, this particular day I'm talking about, where I had to go and I had my blood sugar and my finger started cramping up real bad, y'all. It was so bad. I thought, like, I don't know, I just started panicking real bad because I thought that my body was like just like a spider that got stomped on, and his body's curling up, dying, you know? Like, that's what I thought was going on. Fast forward to the 10th grade year when I finally did start. It was September and pep rally week, which there was many days where I didn't make it to school on time, and the days that I did, like, it would take me a long time to get there because I had to walk from building to building, and my feet would swell up, or if not, well, they would already be swollen, but would swell up even more because I'd be walking, right? And that's because of the kidney disease. I had lupus nephritis. And so there was one particular day where I woke up, like, I had been sleeping in my mom's recliner because, like, I was just so uncomfortable. I was in so much pain. Like, I couldn't sleep. So this particular day, I woke up, I was feeling all right until I actually got up out the recliner, and my leg was hurting. My right leg was hurting. And you know, I can't remember if I took a shower that morning, if I had already took a shower, but I just remember, like, getting on the bus, you know, going to school, and then going to the nurse's room first to check my blood sugar, you know, take my medicine if I hadn't already taken it, whatever have you, you know. Like, she had to make sure I was okay, because actually it was to a point where before I went back to school, I couldn't even write. And so I had to have, like, grippy, like, big old grippies on my pencil, and you know, things like that. And when I would eat lunch, I would have to eat lunch or breakfast. I would have to go to the nurse in order to eat, so I can take my blood sugar, take my insulin, you know, take any medications I needed to, you know. So this day, I get through 2 classes, and I have to go back upstairs. Mind you, my first class, I had to go from one building to the next, and then back to one building, and then back to the other building for lunch. And so a lot of walking I had to do, and I didn't make it until lunchtime, and end up, like, I was in so much pain. My leg, my thigh actually was red, that I noticed. Like, I hadn't noticed that morning. Like, I know it was hurting, but I didn't really notice that it was red. But I noticed my thigh was red, like really red, and it was hurting. It was really tender to the touch, and it felt like it was just hot, you know. And so I had to sit in the principal's office for a few hours, it seemed, probably about 2 hours, and then come to find out, mind you, this is pep rally week, mind you. So it was about the end of the day by the time, like, my folks came. But by the time they came, like, everybody's going to the pep rally, and it's a Friday, and so everybody's going to the pep rally, you know, they're having the games and everything, and I'm still sitting in the office, and, like, wondering where my mom at. Like, I'm calling, she's talking about she's come to the gym, and I'm like, go to the gym? Baby, I don't even feel like going nowhere. Like, I'm hurting. What y'all talking about going to the gym for? So I walked to the gym. There's a couple students that helped me walk to the gym. They came, and the whole entire school, like all these schools, including middle schoolers, was in the gym, and they presented me with a Letterman's jacket. And it was just such a, like, fulfilling yet bittersweet moment, because I really feel like I was being put on the spot. Like, wow, y'all put me on the spot like this. And then also, like, amazed, surprised, and feeling loved, you know, at the same time, because I was on the basketball team the year before, right? So they presented it to me, and the coaches and a couple of the older people from the other teams, they presented it to me, and, you know, we took pictures or whatever. It was nice. It was really nice. But after then, I had to go to the hospital, and I was in the hospital for a good while. And when I became really insecure, like, my confidence went all the way down. I had hair, but I lost a good bit of hair. Like, my hair was really thin, and it was patchy, like, had bald spots on my head and stuff. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like, couldn't go back to school because I ended up having blood clots in my lungs that traveled from my thigh, apparently. One was big, one was small, and one went to a lung and the other went to another lung. And so I had to start taking shots in my stomach for blood thinners and stop going to school. They would send work home, which I didn't do most of it because I was just so like deep depressed, in pain, just numb, and it's like I wasn't even in my body. Like I was just a lump on a log. Like I stopped talking. Like I feel like that's why my voice box is like I talk the way I do these days, because I stopped talking for so long. Like, and most likely lupus, with it being systemic, like it just ate up my body like it did my fingers and my toes and my feet, you know. It just ate my body up. And there'll be times where it's so hard to talk when I would start to talk. But I spent a lot of days, you know, crying and just, you know, depressed. There would be days where I tried to get up and do something, but, you know, I'd be in pain. It wouldn't last long. I'd always be there with my mom and my little nephew, and, you know, just try to find joy in that, you know. And by the next year, which I ended up actually passing 10th grade. What they call it? Y'all feel old as Earl. You hear me? I'm 26 years old. That was so long ago. What they call it? National Honor Society? Yeah. I was awarded with that because I remember going to that at Bethany Baptist Church at the end of the school year, and was awarded with being in the National Honor Society. Because I mean, I didn't do a lot of my work, but I did do some work. Like there came a point in time where I basically just persevered through the pain and made myself do things. Like I made myself walk, I made myself get up. I would pee on myself, but I could make myself get up and go to the bathroom. Even when it hurt and I peed on myself, I still would get to that bathroom and try to pee some more. Even though I peed everything out. Shoot, I got myself back right, and I got myself back walking. My mom, of course, she helped me persevere through. Like she would let me know, like, you got this, like you got this, just do. She'd be like, take your time. And so, you know, I'd take my time and I would try. And I thank her so very much. Like when there was the point in time when I couldn't walk, baby, she didn't go buy no wheelchair or walker. She would make me try, get up and try this, do it, you know. And then there would be the days when I would try and do it and I fail. Get the baby stroller, put you in there. She really made me strong. She helped me to be strong during that time. And definitely God as well, because, you know, if I didn't have any faith, without her and God, I would have never made it through that time. I would have never made it through. But I got better after then. That summer was tough. The next summer was tough because I ended up having to get a job because my mom, she got to a point where, you know, we both got to a point we were just irritated with the situation. For real. Like, it was hard for her to cook for everybody, and I had an attitude and everything. Like, and I was just getting irritated because it's needing my needs met. You feel me? Like, needing the most important things met, because I got an illness. Like, I wasn't trying to be selfish or nothing. Like, I never wanted anything to be changed up because of me, but certain things just had to be. It was my oldest daughter, my crazy wild thing, needing my needs met. You feel me? Like, needing the most important things met, because I got an illness. Like, I wasn't trying to be selfish or nothing. Like, I never wanted anything to be changed up because of me, but certain things just had to be. It was my oldest daughter, my crazy wild thing. See, I had to wait till I got home to finish the rest of the video, but continue on with the story. But, you know, I used to be like, when you're in pain, you're going to be irritable and snappy, and especially when things aren't going the way it's supposed to be going or needs to be going. And so I was like, I became that, you know, like the pain. I was going through so much pain that I just became so irritable and like wanting things to be the way that it, you know, had to be for me to, you know, thrive. You feel me? And my mom, she has not multiple sclerosis, degenerative disc disease and cirrhosis of the liver and stuff like that, which I didn't know back then. But so she was going through her own thing too. So, but so in we ended up moving, and well, before we ended up moving, I had decided to get a job where we was living, and at Captain D's. That was my first job because I wanted to get. I've always been like a person who just couldn't be still. I had to be doing something. I had to be learning something or finding out something. Felt like I needed to, just get up and to be able to take care of myself the way I knew I needed to be taken care of. So I ended up getting a job. It was rough. I made it. I made it through that job. I worked that job for a year until some, BS came up one night. It was a busy night and I made a mistake and got fired for it. But it is what it is because I got to work at that job a couple more times after then. Like they called me back to come work for them. So I know I was a good employee, just made a bad mistake. But throughout the time after then, like I started coming out or being out more with my cousin and, meeting her friends. So, just going through the motions throughout the years with lupus. And then after I graduated, and it was like my mom had fought for a couple years to get me on disability, and they denied me, I think, twice. And so the last time I was there, I was able to come and, present. And they eventually awarded it to me, but then they cut it off when I turned 19, which was in 2018, and I was going to college. Like I started going August of 2017. So my medicine was cut off, or my Medicaid was cut off, and so I wasn't able to get my medications, and almost like end up, you know, piecing out of here. And one of my friends' mom who passed away, God rest her soul, she helped me get back to wellness. She did, because at that point I had moved out, my mom's, and because, well, it was a whole situation really, but ended up staying with my friend, and her mom was like a mom to me, and about but take a break from college. And I thank God for her all the time, because that could have been lasting me, because I was feeling like how I was feeling before when I first got diagnosed. Like I was on my deathbed, I couldn't eat, just couldn't get up, was always sleeping, was in a whole lot of pain. And so let's see, that's 2018. I've actually dealt with some other things as well with my lupus. I found out after um, sometime when I was in college that I had a thyroid disease. My son is acting crazy, y'all. I found out that I had a thyroid disease, which is why I'm so petite now. I used to be big because of the steroids and the fluid that was on my body. Which right before I got sick, I was petite, so end up finding out that I had AFib in 2020. 2020? Yeah, 2020. End up finding out I had AFib or have AFib, and um, yeah, just been going through the motion. But in 22, I was actually by my rheumatologist who manages my lupus. I was actually deemed to be in remission. And let me make this clear, because a lot of people don't understand. Systemic lupus erythematosus, is a chronic disease. It can be overturned by natural medications. I don't, even my doctor has told me, like, he'd rather me be on or do herbs, take herbs, THC and stuff like that, ashwagandha, chamomile, whatever have you. He'd rather me do that than be, like most of these people out here on opioids and, becoming addicted. And so I felt really good about that. I was always nervous about telling him that I smoked and that, I was going the herbal way and hadn't been taking my medications, which honestly, when I had lost my Medicaid and wasn't able to get my medication, that's when I really was just like, let me try to find an alternative, because I see this could definitely be a issue in the future with me getting my medication. So that's when I really started looking into, well, not necessarily when I really started looking into herbs. That's when I really like buckled down into being into herbs and seeing how it could heal me, and found out that lupus can be reversed. It just, you know, it costs money, consistency, um, discipline for sure, and doing the things you need to do. And because lupus would have been a systemic thing, you understand? You have to take a holistic approach to it. Just like there's a lot of other illnesses that you have to take a whole body look at. And in all honesty, I feel like all issues within the body should be looked at in a whole, not just one part and then, oh, this is it, let me give you this man-made thing for this. No. But anywho, so 22, I was deemed in remission, and people tend to think that since I was deemed to be in remission, that lupus is no longer. No, I'm in remission from inflammation of the disease. Systemic, meaning multiple organs have been affected and can be affected. So the inflammation is at a marker where it's in a normal range for a person with lupus. So it's I'm not gonna say normal, it's at a low range for a person with lupus. So it deems them to be in remission. But I have other things that I've had to check on within my body, because it's systemic lupus. It has affected multiple organs in my body, including my skin, as you can tell. The stretch marks. Yeah, my legs. I haven't dove head first into it, like put my whole mind into this particular thing. But organs actually are like different energies in our body, and they also symbolize things for us in the physical world. So, I had my lungs attacked, I had my skin attacked, my kidneys attacked, my thyroid attacked, my brain attacked, because I had brain fog real bad. Memory was terrible, honey. I had problems with my nerves, my nervous system. I had problems with my nervous system, like couldn't even hold, utensil to eat, couldn't stand up straight, couldn't walk, legs hurt. I still deal with pain here and there, my sciatica, and with carpal tunnel, and tendonitis, is that what it's called, for the elbow, something like that. But anywho, I still do deal with certain things, but I'm starting to realize like it only happens when there's certain things I'm not doing or certain things I'm doing that's not good for me, or it's like a message. Honestly, these days I see like the pain and things that I'm going through as a message of I'm either on the right track, or hey, take a step back, or you done did something wrong, whatever. And so, yeah, just but yeah, that is all for this episode today. I may make a part 2. I'm not really sure right now. It might come later on, but you got plenty of time to talk about the things. And so I'll talk to you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend to come on to Beulah's Tea and Testimony, okay? Y'all have a good day.